Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Hey, raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Raise it up. North side, raise it up. South side, raise it up. East side, raise it up. West side, raise it up. 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 North side, raise it up. South side, raise it up. East side, raise it up. The west side, raise it up. 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 Raise it up.
Well, hello, loves. If you are hearing my voice, you have to be on YouTube. I'm not putting this shit on. No, I'm messing with you. No, I'm not putting it on any other platform because my 13th episodes are always exclusively for YouTubers. So thank you for tuning in to the 13th episode of 2022. This is episode 52 is what we're calling it. And this is just my extra bonus, 13 minutes of extraness. Every year it's different. I focus on something new, something different. And this time is no exception. If any of you are just meeting me at episode 52, my name is Wyann. I also go by Y, and this is Raise It Up Why, the podcast where we raise your self-awareness, your vibration, and your capacity for love, which is just knowledge. I am an edutainer, an entertainer, and an educator, or an entertaining educator, or an educated entertainer. It's late, so yep, I'm all those things. How about that? My team has reminded me, one of my angels has reminded me that I'm going to talk about what how did I forget not to talk about this on like the last episode? That's so funny to me. But as Boomer enjoys his slumber in the other room, sonically, loudly, New Year's Eve is when this usually drops, y'all. So this is just an extra dose of added love and positivity, non-corny positivity always, that we tend to kick here on this platform. And I do it like this because I love the number 13, but also because I know around this time, connection is really, really important, so giving you another episode is like my pleasure, right? I want to tell you all about my visit to New York. My visit to New York is going to dovetail into the Joe Budden podcast. Hello, Joe Budden podcast loves, aka JBP loves. Hello, all of love culture, but particularly y'all. And that's going to have implications for why I show you my vision board that we just did last Friday? Wow. We did that last Friday. So today is Friday on the record, it's the 16th. But 1 week ago, we did our vision boards. And it's done now, but it's for 2023, I believe. 2021's vision board that set up 2022 is right here. Respect the night owl. It's 1:45 a.m. I think we're respecting the night owl. Hello. Rare. Do you know, I saw this word rare on this when I was putting this one over this. And it reminded me of a song that I wrote in 2019 at 1500 Sound Academy with one of the instructors, one of our pioneer instructors, Jared Selter, that was there. And one of our babies, Aliana, you remember her, Aliana? She was like all riffing over it and singing, but it was just like I was like showing them how, some songwriting tips, just my process of how I songwrite. This song stayed with me when you guys left the other day so long that I wrote I finished writing it. I only had like a little bit of it. Finished writing the whole song, sang it down to Soundtrack. I sang it down to TJ. I was like, anybody who can hear this, the same way I did in Vintage Your Heart. it's the same sort of feeling I get. And I'm like, oh God, I'm in love with this song. So I see this rare word and I am involved in music, which imagine, write out, all these different words. Look at this. The best love, joy culture ever. This was before love culture became a thing. When we did this, there was no love culture merch. We had not done that yet. That's what this came up with. TJ and I, one of the best years that we had. Because who took this photo? TJ. Black creative. Like, life actually gets better. Did this 2 days later, broke my face. And it said, life actually gets better. Oh, I scoffed. Yeah, right. I'm setting that up. I'm giving you, YouTube loves, all this context because it plays into how I've done 2023's vision board that I completed in 2022. So I'll be honest with you. I did an episode a couple of months ago, since this podcast comes out once a month. And oh goodness, was it episode 48? Was it right before me and Wendy? The one, whatever that man's name is, Boomer. As if I don't have all my episodes right here. I'm so funny. Wyann, you so funny, homegirl. But let's just see which one it was. I'm pretty sure it was episode 48. What happens? Oh, after the love is gone. When I did that episode, I wasn't in love. I wasn't in love with my routine. I wasn't in love with how I was doing professionally. I wasn't in love with a few things. I almost called the team and deferred taping because I wasn't sure the energy I was kicking was correct. But if you've watched episode 51 that we just taped, that's why I have on the same outfit. If you look at that, you'll see that my second angel, I got one of my angels over there, my second angel, Susie, asked a high why question called, how do you stay grounded and focused even when you don't want to complete your goals anymore? Like when you're like, the zest, the motivation is gone. Listen to that title again. What happens after the love is gone? I was over it. I felt stuck. I felt stagnant. I felt a few things. And as a result, I got on my meditations. I sat and I was quiet and I asked God, what do I need to learn from this phase of my life? Mind you, we fine-tuned in that episode discipline. Discipline, sticking the course. What we did today, consistency, practiced discipline, like making sure that you're actually doing it, right? So I got on the phone with one of my favorite friends and booked a trip after meditating. And God told me, go to New York. The answers is in New York. I says, wow, I don't love traveling. Let me be fully transparent. I don't love traveling. It's LA all day for me every day. I just had a lot of thoughts and a lot of feelings. However, I went because I was being obedient. The way the trip happened was so filled with grace, it's not even funny. And randomly, at the same time that I go to New York and stay with my homeboy, Andre Mego, Rhapsody comes to New York. and needs a place to crash for the night before she gets to her hotel. So she comes to stay with me and Andre Mago, and it's amazing. And we all three are in there. It's like we were fucking slumber party kids. Like it was like we were 8. It was hilarious. 8 40-year-olds, you know. Well, I'm the 40-year-old. They're both, you know, my juniors, but in a very respectful way. You know what I'm saying? But we're all staying together, being creative, being playful, being fun. This was not planned. Rap didn't know she was going to be going to New York at that time. And she surely didn't know that I was going to be going. And so it was like so much serendipity. Anyways, God just told me to go. I could have questioned. I could have said, God, you know I don't necessarily love this and that. I know what happened right before that. I was trying the iPhone 14 had just come out. So I ran to try to get the iPhone 13. Why? This is the 13th episode of the year because I love 13. I have the number 13 tatted on my torso. I love 13. 13. I could have gotten the 13 many times this year. I said, nah, I'm going to wait till the 14 comes out because then it's going to drop in price. Buy $100. It didn't drop. I was like, oh man, I played the game wrong. So I'm at the Best Buy and I'm sitting there talking with the agent and trying to get the 13 was like trying to pull teeth because they were fucking leaving. And the one that was left that I wanted was in like a forest green, some weird ass color. I was like, bro, what? She was like, yeah. And when it comes, it's going to have to come to your house. And I know that you said you had problems getting things to your house and da, da, da. It was so much shit right before I'm going to New York. It was so much stuff. And I thought, and I sat in that place and I says, would this be happening if I were getting a 14? She said, oh no. If you were in a 14, shit, we could do this, we could do this, we could do that. And it could be here in a couple of days. It would be so much different. I'm like, damn, girl, I just learned it. I just learned the lesson that God was trying to teach me with this. She said, what? I said, when God looks to upgrade you, don't fight him. Who wanted the 13? I wanted the 13 is whose number? My number. So I'm fighting when every path of everything that can happen on a path of resistance is happening, trying to get this iPhone 13. The second I gave up the fight and I surrendered, like a struggling leaf trying to hold on to a tree that's fallen over and a stream is just doing like this. And the leaf is just holding on and just holding on. The second it lets go, it starts its journey. And it's an effortless journey. Nobody's fucking with it. It's floating. It doesn't have to work to swim, to stay. If you let it happen, life can happen. Gotta let life. You gotta give time. When God says go, go. That was my last. Well, the ticket was already booked. I was already going to be going to New York. That was already okay. But that was my last confirmation. Like when God seeks to advance you, promote you, upgrade you, don't fight it. Another way to say that is surrender. All right. I'm so nervous about flying. I get on the plane, I'm shaking. I take videos, so I'm sending, or I took pictures, I think. I sent it to Andre. He's like, why? You're fine. You can do it. Andre can be my son. He's 16 years my junior, you know what I mean? So it's like, oh, okay, thanks, kiddo. You know, and I'm like, oh, why do I do this? Why do I get anxiety? I get there 2 days later. Yeah, Rap's going to come just for the night, though. She stays for the night, and it's like, yeah, you know what? We're having a fun time. We talk till 4 a.m., so she stays another night. Every night we're going to Robert Glasper's Robtober at the Blue Note NYC. And the first night I went, it was not with Layla Hathaway. But for the majority of the other nights that I went in the week that I went there, my other sister, Layla Hathaway, is performing. I haven't heard her perform in so long. And so I was just so happy. Like all of this inspiration washing over me. Amir Suleiman Sulaiman, Sulaiman, Amir, Amir, my favorite poet right now. And I'm a poet. My favorite poet right now, like I said, is this man, Amir Sulaiman. If you listen to Black Radio 3, the first song, the first track features the poetry of Amir. If you ever watch Dave Chappelle's movie that he was screening in select theaters across the country, the poet that he called to his house is Amir Sulaiman. He's a gentle giant, huge man, beautiful personality, and he freestyles poetry that it would have taken me 2 weeks to write. I'm sorry. Let's just keep it a bean. And I saw that every night. Andre Mego as my witness. We could talk about this on a different day. And then Rhapsody as my witness. Because Rhapsody, she was like, yo, I says, it's a freestyle, hun. We've seen him do this twice. He repeated nothing. He's rhyming. He's this, he's that. It's insane. Amir, I love you. I mean that. As a human, I'm completely happy where I'm at, and I'm not being weird when I say that. As a human being and as a fellow poet, I fucking love you. I tell him this though, so it's not news. Dude, I left New York with a renewed sense of purpose, value, and self-worth. Sometimes I feel like I'm too loud for spaces I've traditionally inhabited. I got to New York and learned that my voice wasn't loud enough. I thought I was too spirited or, the sit your happy ass down somewhere types of vibes when I'm at certain places in my life. I get to New York and from the audience felt like I was also on stage because of the spiritedness. And Robert, Wyann, I see you. Yes, okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. Like, you can be your own artist and not have to be on stage. You see what I'm saying? It's not, I know that people overuse this, it's not on me, it's in me sort of a thing. I'm on a stage in my life. I don't need somebody to call me onto their stage. I am this private icon that my vision board from last year said I was. All these words that just resonated with me, and I didn't know why they were the ones that I was choosing. This happened, going out to dinner parties show the other night. This is me fast forwarding, and I'm literally talking to you guys, but also talking to Ona. Going out to the party the other night, dinner party rather. Someone sees me. I'm with my dad. I take my dad on a date, and we go. And as we're leaving, a man says, "Wyann Vaughn," and I look. He says, "Raise it up, why?" I says, "Raise it up." He's like, "I would listen to your podcast. I'm in the Love Lounge. I'm one of your loves. Wow. I didn't know you were going to be here. I would have probably wanted a picture or something. I just keep doing what you do." Really? I'm like feeling like boom, 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 boom. So we leave, me and my dad. My dad said, he said your full name. He said Wyann Vaughn. I says, that's how I introduced myself on the podcast. He's like, people know my baby? I said, Daddy, I think so. I don't know. All this shit is new to me too, but I also haven't really stepped out for a long time, especially since the pandemic. I haven't really stepped out. So New York was a step out. Dinner party was a step out. If we weren't recording tonight, we would have been at the TDE release. Remember how we did for A Room Full of Mirrors? Tonight was for Absol. But that's a part of sticking to your guns. When you say we have all of this, we put this together, my operation has to come first, even though that would have been so bomb. Well, but everyone, please go support Absol. That boy is amazing. I left New York with a renewed sense of who Wyann, the night owl and the Black creative, the entrepreneur that started something called 13 Presents, is. Who she is, what she is, how she is. Where the Joe Budden podcast ends up falling in with that is when I got to New York, it was Good Kid, Mad City Day, 10/22. I got there on the 21st, I think, but the 22 was the first day I spent there, Saturday. And I'd been speaking to some of the folks on Joe Budden's team that I've had the pleasure now of becoming cool with, e-cool, like, so basically virtually. I've never met these people in person, but we DM, we talk, we this and that, because we know a lot of the same people. Like, I know I'm a avid Joe Budden listener, Joe Budden podcast listener, but also at the time that Joe Budden started his podcast, it was February 2015. I got the proposition to join the pharmacy the day after my birthday in 2015, April 14, right? So then the first day that we recorded anything for the pharmacy with Dr. Dre was the 24th of April. So Joe Budden started his 8 weeks before we had started anything. And you go to look up podcasts, they started listing the pharmacy as a podcast on Google. I'm just saying, if you just like research podcasts, start to look for, information on different stuff, the pharmacy comes up. So while in the podcast space, I raise it up why and things aren't necessarily where somebody like a Joe Budden clearly is, I started in this around the time that he started in this under Dr. Dre and Apple and Jimmy Iovine with that Beats deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, so once again, what New York taught me, the worth, okay, Wyann, I know that you're humble and you think that you're everyone's little sister and stuff like that. And I am lightweight, a lot of people's little sister in this industry, but you're on stage even when you're not on stage still. You think you laugh too loud until you get around a bunch of creatives that laugh way louder than you. You think you're too much until you get around real performers, and then you realize you're not out enough. There's a childhood book called The Ugly Duckling, and there was a baby duck, parentheses, who would look at actual ducks that it was born around and just be like, I don't look like y'all. I'm just not even gorgeous. I'll just be the best ugly duckling I can be. And then one day that ugly duckling goes to a pond and sees a swan for the first time. Its white feathers that bow up like a heart, its regal neck, majestic black on pink, all white. And the ugly duckling starts to look at herself. She's all white. She has a beautiful long neck. She has all these different things. The thing is, because she'd only been around ducks have different shapes than a swan. They're not necessarily associated with grace like a swan is, beauty like a swan is. Ducks are ducks. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of quirky, they're quacky, they're cute animals. They're very cute animals. But when you think of a swan, you think of regal, you think of elegance, you think of grace. When you're not, this is why representation is important in things too. When you aren't aware of how you look to your surroundings to see how you look. You start to judge yourself through other people's eyes that judge you. Imagine not having the song Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud out. And you're looking at yourself as a Black person in America during a time where white people in power were telling you that Black was ugly, Black was dirty, Black wasn't smart. You have to drink at these kinds of fountains. You have to live in these sorts of places that aren't clean. They don't have a lot of resources. They're not this, not, lack, poor, poverty, right? You might start to look at everything that reminds you of your Blackness and feel resentment and hatred. It wasn't until things like civil rights comes. It's not till things like seeing Cicely Tyson, the first Black woman to wear her hair naturally, not processed, not straightened, a fro on a screen. It gave Black women with the same colored and textured hair, the kind of hair, permission. You learn self-confidence. One of my favorite TED Talks that I've recently listened to. You learn confidence 3 ways, 3 recipes. You need community because you need people to reflect back to you accurately who and what you are. Number 2, you need permission. Sometimes I don't know that I can laugh loud until I hear Robert Glasper laugh and you can hear him on Compton Ave over there. And I'm sitting in here in my house. It's like, there go Robert. That's Robert. And Robert is literally 1 week before me, birthday-wise. Like, he's a big personality. DJ Premier is an Aries, big personality, open, honest. Just these like big personalities. Fucking Aretha Franklin was a Diana Ross. Like, these are big personalities. This is a big Marvin Gaye. These are people that take up space and they don't fucking apologize for it. These are my peers. But if I don't see it in my community, then I don't give myself permission to be it. The third thing that you need for confidence, I don't know how I'm remembering this, by the way. I didn't write none of this down. But the third thing that you need is curiosity. Ooh, which takes us back to going when God says go. Because you have to explore. You have to be curious enough about yourself to explore. Damn, I wish I remembered the girl's name who did that TED Talk. Beautiful Black woman. And I listen to it like a TED Talk every morning, something positive every morning, so I can't even remember which speaker she was. I'll go back and find it and maybe put it in the comments here if you guys remind me. But I'm giving you all that. I wanted to tell you all that to say the Joe Budden podcast started around the time I became what some publications have called a podcaster, under the tutelage of Dr. Dre. And I keep saying under the tutelage of Dr. Dre because I want it to be known while I'm a private icon, I'm an icon nonetheless. I used to tell people at the college I'm an edutainer. And they looked at me and said, yeah, all right, well, we're going to need you to dress like this, edutainer, paraprofessional. We're going to need you to do this and we're going to need you to do that. And then when Dr. Dre said, hey, she's an edutainer. Yes, well, why? Yes, she is. She's our edutainer. Bitch. I digress. That's not to everyone that I worked with, but it's definitely to some of the people that supervised who I worked with. And I'll leave that there. But I want that piece about the Joe Budden podcast to be present because when I make these references to how I'm cool with his team, shit, me and his manager became cool because he's also DJ Premier's manager, and me and DJ Premier have been friends since 2015. So it's like there's a sense of parody, even though it's a private icon. Nobody knows me outwardly like that. And that's okay. Yes, I love my anonymity. That's the best. You can walk and be safe. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's amazing. But when I got to New York, and I'd been keeping up contact with the manager of Premier, as well as Joe Budden, who is Ian. Shouts out to you. Another Aries. Hello. He was getting married. And I had not written that anywhere until that day. So I was like, man, maybe I could possibly meet up with them and blah, blah, blah. Just, meet some people because I was already going to meet with Premier. So if I'm going to meet with DJ Premier, maybe DJ Premier's manager will be there. I would love to meet it. And then he says, getting married today. I'm like, what? I go back to all the DMs. I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I hope you have an amazing day. You fucking winner, you. There was just a lot of synchronicity. Actually, if you listen to the episode that got taped that day, that Friday that we were there, I think it's episode, 548 maybe, something like that. And Rhapsody calls in. there's a voice speaking in her background. That's me. Cause we were having such an amazing talk, me, her, and Andre, about visions, about vision boarding, about where we saw each other. And she was like, well, who do you see yourself as a mentor in this space? I said, Joe Budden, easily. She was like, do you know Joe? I said, I don't. She's like, does he know who you are? I'm like, he doesn't need to know. I am a listener of his. That's all he needs to know for right now. So she just started FaceTiming him. She didn't even call. She FaceTimed him. And he says on the episode, he says, what's up, Rap? She said, oh, you working? He said, I'm always working, Rhapsody. I said, I saw it was a Friday. I said, oh, no, they taped today. And so she just went, oh, okay. Because she didn't know what to say at that point. All this is on the episode, by the way. So you can hear this. But I'm literally in the background like, no, they taped today. We can't go. But when she was like, no, I'm out here. He was like, oh, say less. We ended up going back to Robtoberfest, which is the, Robert show. So we just didn't get to see him. But what's going to work is going to work. And it's going to work when it's supposed to work. And I'm not saying that means me and Joe Budden podcast have to work together. It's nothing like that. It's a matter of whatever in this life you're looking for, it's looking for you back. And things are going to happen when things are supposed to happen, not when you want them to happen, when they're supposed to happen. Because it's always better that way. That's where I talk about divine trust. That's where I talk about making sure that you let go, let God, Jesus take the wheel, everything that you guys hear. You know what I'm saying? All those little sayings or whatever. I'm here to let you know that they are true. So when Joe Budden ended up picking my question the second time, he was like, hey, this is Wyann's question. Hi, Wyann. We love Wyann. We love Wyann. Hi, Wyann. All the guys on there. I'm like, hi, guys. Hi. I'm in my home like, hey, guys. So it was amazing. That was the episode with Melissa Ford, the most recent one, if you guys wanted to go back. I just can't remember the number of it. My bad, y'all. But I bring all of these synchronicities up to say, whatever the thing is that you think you're believing in for the next year, believe in it. Be crazy. Be wild. Be loud. Take up space. Own your shit. Okay? Own your shit. Be accountable. If you don't keep yourself aware, then allow others around you to check you. Let your ego be humbled. However, know the difference between being humble and being a coward. Humility might cower, but it's not a coward, right? Humility can cower to energy in a room just because everything needs its own space. But because it can cower doesn't mean it's a coward. Not the fuck at all. Not at all. It would be like every musician on a stage playing as loudly as they could and as many notes as they could. There's literally no need. It would sound like a fucking train wreck, actually. It was like a zoo. Yes, that's exactly what just happened. So what happened when people stopped playing some notes? Which is, look at this, because we just did the other episode. Miles Davis is really big on the space in music, the space in between the notes. It's not about the notes you play, it's about the notes you don't play. That's a direct quote from Miles Davis. Whew. Synchronicities, bro. What you're believing for 2023 is already true. If you believe, I'm not going to make no New Year's resolutions. New Year's resolutions don't work anyway. It's already true. I would say I'm going to lose 5 pounds, but everybody know I'm probably going to gain 10. It's already true. I mean, I guess I want to have something loving in a relationship, but these niggas ain't shit. It's already true. It's already true. It's already true. As quickly as you think it is, as quickly as you attract it, it's already fucking true. Okay? So, I wanted to share with y'all my handy dandy vision board. I don't know if they can see it though. I'm going to show it to this one too.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And then pull it back towards me.
A little bit higher. And a little bit closer. Yep.
Right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, there is money for me in 2023. Not because of any other reason than money is a form, a physical form of energy. And I put value into this world, and that value is returning. I have the word, God did. I know God did. I talked to Young Guru earlier, too, on purpose, just because I remembered that I was doing this episode and that the God did was on here. And Guru is Jay-Z's engineer and I think co-founder of Jamla Records with Ninth Wonder. So whenever I go out and do anything with Ninth and them, Goo is always a part. Like when we went to New York and I went to the Rock Nation School, Goo is the dean of student affairs now. He's the dean over Jay-Z's school. So when I was there, I also was like, yo, am I going to get to see you? He was like, oh, damn it. Why? I was there, but I had a meeting or I was there. And so he wasn't able to make it either of the days that I was there. But just saying God did and the where we at, Goo, I'm literally like trying to get his merch. You know, actually was going to get it for Wendy for Christmas. But we just got to see because I think he sold out of them. So, you know. But on here is Beyonce. Icon. I think of maybe the best performer, maybe most dynamic performer. It depends on what you like. You say best performer, but we can look at Michael Jackson in that conversation. We can look at Usher. We can look at Chris Brown. We could look at James Brown. We could look at, you know, the Chuck Berrys. We could look at some people when we talk about best performers. And she has to be in the conversation. That's like not up for grabs. Best performer. Janet Jackson in that conversation, clearly. Yeah, all the stuff that all the greats do, she does it in higher heels. She has to be considered. Almost cutting off her face, but not intentionally, just because the way that the picture ended up working out. Defiant ones. I have her there, I have Dre there, and I have Kendrick there. And then I have Wyann there, and it says, you're a star. Shine, baby. I got to remember to shine. I have Coolio's hands making the West Coasts that surround us as an angel holding us down. Compton's very own. Coolio was a real good dude. I did not get to know him. I did not know him personally. A lot of the folks that I love knew him very well and took his passing very hard. I thought about Dre when he says, don't do diet hip hop. And the words that I have on here is say that shit straight up. Say shit straight the fuck up. I feel like I'm born again almost every day when I realize how much love I have in my life. That's y'all. Love culture. That's all y'all. I have so much love. My family, that's a given. You know what I'm saying? But you guys are a different type of lots of love, and it's an insane feeling. But one that I wouldn't trade for anything. I keep 13 Presents. I always put our company on here, doing business as, and Onet is like my brains, always. So she has it on hers. I have it on mine. I put that I'm a gift. I feel blessed to be able to do the work that I want to do, work that really means something to me. I was talking to Don Cheadle's wife. Shouts out to Brigitte Couture, creator of Black Bird Collective. So I also talked about maybe us doing something over there. That's a different topic. But I spoke with her about, while I'm in between W-2 types of jobs, what I do with love culture in this podcast, everything is so meaningful that, please. But I also put on here in my gift section, take a break with the little chick doing yoga in one of my favorite pose is called Dancer's Pose. She's also thrown up bloods, but that's not the point. And that's not what it means in yoga. This means something very positive, I'm sure, but in LA culture, this is blood. But also her body is making a Y. Let's talk about, girl, I love your little body, yada, yada. But number 13, I had to sneak it in just so niggas knew, like, not to play with me. Butterflies all over this thing, right? The secret is to find joy and peace. Love and family will always be a part of the secret. As well, I love these words. I have to be who I am. I can't sell you nothing else. I'm not here to attempt to sell you anything, but I'm for damn sure not going to sell you anything that's not me. I'm a real person. I'm a real love. The merch earlier this year, we talked about that. You've got to really want it, but then you've got to go take it. You've got to take it. You've got to really want it, whatever it is. Then you've got to take it. Take is an action. It's not you've got to want it, then you've got to be prayerful about it. Sit at your house. Talk to other people about it. Think more about it. No, you've got to want it, then you've got to do it. In the Bible, that's called faith without works is dead. You've got to want it for real, and then you've got to go take it. Last but not least, no, two other things. Second to last, everything is possible. I left in the sky of this picture a whole lot of open space because I like to plan 80% of my life and leave 20% for God to act up, right? God be acting a fool. And what God has to know is his 1/5 is greater than my 4/5. So I don't care if I've planned out everything perfectly. The second God makes an executive decision with his 20%, I change my whole shit around. That's our deal, right? And the last thing on here is the Capitol Records building right there on Sunset in Hollywood. That building was erected and built on the royalties of Nat King Cole. Nat King Cole, early 1900s jazz artist, beautiful crooner, singer, songwriter. And what labels made off of him saved Capitol Records. The same happened, by the way, with Warren G and Def Jam Records. The song Regulators saved Def Jam Records, who was completely in debt, in the red, was going to have to file bankruptcy. A West Coast artist. Let me stop. Warren G saved Def Jam the same way Nat King Cole saved Capitol Records. And erected this building. Maybe not saved the whole record label because I might be confusing the stories. But what I do know is this building that's on Sunset in Hollywood, California, was built from Nat Cole's recordings. I can guarantee you that part. The fact that this building is lit up in rainbow colors, and then I went back and kind of did my whole thing with rainbow colors. I looked at it like the chakras and what they all represent. That's why it was important to me. It was also at night. So night owl always represented. But not just that, this what I like about nighttime is it makes it very easy to see the light. At the nighttime, things that are bright have no choice but to be highlighted. So dark energy people fade into the night. I can more easily avoid them. To me, they either fade into the night or they never come out because they're daywalkers or dream killers. My thoughts. But yeah, in this Capitol Records building being lit up this way, I looked at it like it has all of the chakras. The rainbow means that it has all of the chakras. And how funny, red, which is the first chakra, it's at your, it's the most grounding. Red is on top. So when you get to the top, you still have to be grounded. Not only that, notice with the red, when you get to the top, you still have to be grounded. This represents Black legacy to me still. Black art, which is jazz. It's American art. It's art, period. But if you want to put extra adjectives on it, it's Black art created out of a bunch of Black pain that we took and made beautiful, like music, like jazz, like Negro spirituals, like gospel music, R&B, blues, all of that shit was born out of some fucking awful shit. Like, if we're being honest. Black people in America, the Black family was born out of some awful shit that happened to West Africans. So this picture represents legacy, and everything I do has to have iconic or legacy vibes attached to it, or I'm thinking too small for my vision. And that's my vision board. My vision's so big it couldn't fit on the page. I did that on purpose. Like, oh well, it was too big for the page. Create more page.
Create your own space.
Create my own fucking space, but take up the space that's mine. My space is big. So my space is unlimited. God told me in 2013, even the sky is only the world's limit. Why? Nothing has to be yours. I've never written that down because I've never needed to. I'll never forget it. This is me giving you permission in this community that we have in Love Culture, with the curiosity of self-exploration that we do on this podcast all the time. I think I secured the 2 C's of what old girl said, community and curiosity. P, the permission though. I don't know if you have ever given yourself permission to dream real big. Not just buy a shirt that says dream big or a sticker that says dream big, or even just say the words, no, you got to dream big. No, nigga, you dream. Dream while you are awake. Don't wait until you're asleep to give yourself permission to dream. What did that one line say? You've got to really want it. Then you've got to take it. Permission granted. As Boomer snores. I cannot wait for him to hear this audio while he goes to edit this. Ladies and gentlemen of Love Culture, loves in learning, who are becoming Love Culture members, I just appreciate y'all. All my subscribers on Instagram, subscribers on Patreon, everyone who's a part of the Love Culture community on Clubhouse, Instagram, wherever you are. Whether you give me money or not, that's not the point. It's the fact that you exist. It's the fact that you spend time with us. I appreciate you. I thank you for being you. That was not 13 minutes. I just looked over there. Now that I've given you another hour of content, God bless you all. Thank you. Good night. Stay real, y'all.